Well, I guess there's no bigger or more talked about topic in golf today than what's Tiger going to do? Who's his next swing coach? Well, I'm going to give you my opinion today, and kind of going to go slow and through this. And I think what I want to do is, by the time we're finished this, is to give you a clear understanding of not only what I think he should do, but a really good reason behind it. So I'm going to ask Dean to kind of move around when I want him to, because I have some specific things that I need to show you that will help in understanding why I'm going to lean the way I'm going to lean. Number one, of course, I'd like him to call me. I mean, but who wouldn't? And I'm serious. I think absolutely Tiger has, and I don't think this is a secret, he has a problem with coordinating his swing to his body. Some people might call it timing, rhythm. Some people might talk, you'll hear the guys on the announcers on TV talking about that he can't get his arms coordinated with his body. Well, I'm going to give you a better explanation of that, and that's kind of going to lead to who I should think he should see next. Forever, Tiger has had a hard time because he gets his hips so fast that it's incredibly hard to time his swing. So definition. Your swing is your club, your hands, and your arms. That is your swing. What you're trying to time it to is your body, or let's say your pivot. So that's sequence of motion. What you're trying to sequence is your swing, club, hands, and arms, to your body. Way back when Tiger was working with Butch Harmon, Tiger said that he hated doing the drill that Harmon had him doing, where he would swing, and I'll kind of show you that from a long angle. He would swing, he would get his swing going through the golf ball, then allowing the hips to come. Well, that is a proper sequencing of a golf swing. The human eye can't see it, and it even gets worse than that. Somewhere along the way in golf history, somebody said you get speed from your hips, which is absolutely not true. I don't know if Tiger heard it when he was little and it got into his mind that you get the speed of rotation. I would love to hear why he does that. We'd like to get him to slow that down, and I think any instructor he goes to is going to start there. I don't think I care what instructor that is. That's going to happen. I don't believe for a second that Tiger doesn't know that. Why he keeps doing it, that's a really interesting question. Obviously one of the world's best athletes, smart as heck as far as it comes down to golf. I'd love to dwell why he keeps doing that, because that's the thing that causes him to hit it way right and way left. Now there's more to it though. In the world of golf, the instructors that are the best understand that there's two basic understandings of what makes a golf ball or golf swing move. There is a faction of instructors that like the idea of the body controlling the swing. Then there's a faction that like the swing controlling the body. Neither one of them are wrong, but certain styles of people will be better with this, and certain styles will be better with that. When you get a guy that does what Tiger does, got all this speed going on in the hips, you do not want to be taking lessons from a guy that believes the body runs the swing, because now you're really going down a path you don't want to go into. Butch Harmon, his style of motion was how the swing runs the body, where Hank Haney, he kind of likes the other, where the body runs the swing. So going with Mr. Haney, and I may have to get the cameraman to move around a little bit, or I can adjust to him. He comes off making it seem like he's moving more towards a single plane motion. Well, let's talk about that for a second. Single plane is no better than a plane that adjusts 3 times. Somehow we've got caught into thinking, And rightfully so. I guess it sounds better. If you don't change planes, less can happen. That sounds better. Not true, but it sounds better. But don't go there, because that's not true. So in moving to a flatter plane looking swing, and I hesitate when I say that because you're either on plane or you're not. It's nothing to do with flat or upright. What's happened with Tiger's motion, it has appeared to get more flat, moving this way. Well, what that does, it doesn't allow the left wrist, which is your major velociter in the golf swing, to move as freely as, let's say, a more upright swing as a Butch Harmon may teach. Okay, segue from that for a second. In 2000, when Tiger was with Butch, he was winning tournaments by huge amounts and just wiping out the field. But yet, Mr. Haney suggests lately, and rightfully so, that Tiger's won 44% of all the tournaments he's entered. You can't sneeze at that. However, I and a lot of other people could suggest that Tiger should have won 80. He is that good. I will make the suggestion, what's happened over the last few years, Tiger has become a better player. He has not become a better ball striker. He was a better ball striker when he was with Butch Harmon. I think what's changed is Tiger's become a better player. That's why he's winning all these tournaments. If he could go back and get that old swing back he had in 2000, and by the way, this is what Johnny Miller has been stating for quite a while, and I totally agree, that I think Tiger, with the Butch Harmon swing and his better ability to play now, would be almost unbeatable. So, if you can get back to this understanding, there are certain instructors that like the idea and the concept of the body running the golf swing, and there's certain instructors that like the swing running the way you move the golf club. So with that said, I think Tiger should be leaning towards guys like me. Jim Flick would be great. I think that Butch Harmon would be his best bet, but I think that would be funny behind the scenes. I can imagine Phil Mickelson jumping up and down and screaming about Butch. If you take him on, I'm gone. I can imagine there's a lot of fun stuff going. But yet, you know, on camera, oh, we're friends. Everything's okay. Not true. Not true. It'd be fun to watch behind the cameras. And or a young gentleman named Sean Foley, who absolutely understands the style of swing that I'm talking to you about right now. I think that would be a great fit. But it all comes down to the style of instructor that would be best for Tiger. It is going to be fascinating to see what he does. It would be fascinating if we could see behind the scenes about the phone calls being made. However, you and I'll never see that. But if we're doing the Tiger thing, which is right in front of our face right now, the best advice that I could give to a guy like Tiger would be, first off, I think Butch Harmon would be #1 choice. Number 2, if it's not me, then I think it should be Sean Foley. And if he goes to that, I think if Tiger will listen, now that's the, you know, the instructors know what they're doing. These guys, the guys that I'm talking about, they know what they're doing. However, Tiger gets the final say. If he doesn't like it, then he's going to be too stubborn to do it. However, if he does start doing it, the #1 thing is he's going to get rid of the rights. I think he'd like to hear that, by the way. He's going to get rid of the rights. Then these guys can show him how to get rid of the lefts. And then they can show him how to practice where this becomes much easier to do. Okay, so that's my advice. There's 2 styles of swinging a golf club. One is where you try to get the body to run the show. One is when you try to get the swing to run the show. Tiger, I think you need to find somebody that likes the swing running the show. It's going to be fascinating to see what goes on in the next few months. Oh, and by the way, I want to add some more to what I just got thinking about after I've talked about all this, is what brings it all together is this. When you do the Hank Haney deal and the swing plane appears to get flatter, it really kind of locks out a lot of your ability to cock and to level your left wrist, which is wonderful if you're trying to engage the body more in a golf swing. It's it works. I'm not saying he's wrong in any way. He's not wrong. I think he's wrong for Tiger. But okay, so the next thing is, when you do the Butch Harmon style of motion, your left wrist cocks and releases a lot easier, which, I want to make sure I say this right because this is where we're coming to the climax here. If this left wrist is allowed to cock and release, the body gets less active because the speed's going to come from the cocking and the leveling of your left wrist. Whereas in the Haney style of motion, you really need to get that body more active to get the speed you want. So that's the reason I'm saying the Harmon style of swing is better than the Haney style of swing for Tiger. If Tiger can go back to where he's allowing the left wrist to cock and level, it stops the hips from needing or wanting to go this way so fast. I think the really cool thing about that is it's not really an opinion, or if it is an opinion, it's backed up with some science and some reality about, so I'm not just picking because I like Butch better than Hank. It's not true. There's a reason why I'm saying it. So I hope that does make sense. I certainly, at this point in my career, like the understanding of more that the swing runs the body than the body trying to run the swing. Thanks.